one thing I can tell you about being in crisis or any event or series of events that create a very unstable, threatening situation, it's going to affect you, a family, a group, a community, a whole society. All crises share several defining characteristics that include being unexpected, high levels of uncertainty, anxiety, and stress, and that represents a threat, and that can be real or imagined to those affected. Crisis can revolve around a natural incident, an earthquake, a tornado, industrial accidents, or any sort of substantial change in the events that compromise the daily life of a person and maybe their significant close others. It can consist of situations that are life-altering and include everything from medical and public health emergencies, injuries, long-term illness, victimization, this widespread public unrest, the loss of job and career, extreme financial hardship, to active addiction that can no longer go unaddressed. On a personal level, crisis is a state of psychological disequilibrium, this imbalance that occurs when extraordinary events trigger extreme stress, challenge our perceptions of life as we know it, and literally throw us into turmoil, because crises disrupt what is familiar and in turn comfortable. And these shifting sands also create rare and meaningful opportunities for growth and change. Such opportunities may never have existed before. Not in the conscious awareness beforehand. But stress and uncertainty in situations can definitely cloud our ability to see and to utilize the opportunities that do emerge. Just like a few videos back, often the difference between despair and hope reside in a change of mental perspective. The first principle of Buddhist psychology is that all phenomena are impermanent and constantly changing, yet we tend to relate to them as though they are or should be permanent. This discrepancy is a source of considerable mental and emotional suffering. As a result, the first and most essential step toward becoming more comfortable with uncertainty and more skillful in dealing with it is to understand and begin to accept that, as much as we'd like to have it otherwise, virtually nothing is certain. Just as really the only true constant in life is change. The only real certainty in life is uncertainty. And learning how to live with uncertainty and the various forms of discomfort that come with it, creates and strengthens resiliency and the ability to adapt to change. And it's also a very fundamental aspect of becoming emotionally and developmentally healthy adult. So a couple things that I do daily that help me become more comfortable with uncertainty, because I definitely go through it constantly. Constant uncertainty. So, I'm a pretty good person to ask. First and foremost, practice kindness and compassion whenever possible. And it's pretty much almost always possible. Not only toward others, but yourself. Hydrate and drink water. Many people don't drink enough water, and we are pretty much in a constant state of dehydration, and that only makes stress and anxiety worse. Be aware of your breathing and breathe intentionally, making breather slower and deeper. Under the influence of stress and anxiety and uncertainty, breathing can be very hard. I know that it gets to be very hard for me, especially with any sort of panic attack, because, it tends to get very rapid, very shallow, because your body is literally preparing for fight or flight or freeze, which only increases the stress and anxiety. Another one, reach out to someone. If you can't do it like in person, especially like right now, phone or video chat somebody who will actually listen with presence and emotional availability, and be present and emotionally available with them as well. That's very important. Engage in some movement of, something physical. Movement is like the body's WD-40, ideally. It elevates your heart rate for a while. Reanimate your core values. This has been very important to me. Bring conscious awareness to the values that are most important to you. Do at least one thing that aligns with your values and something that you can genuinely feel good about. And if possible, be of service and do something meaningful, even if it's small, for someone in need and less fortunate. That's really my greatest way to pull myself out of extra uncertain chaos. Not only is it a good distraction, but it helps them, it helps you, and then you guys can both work through your issues, and that's even better. I'm usually a pretty upfront person, so it's beneficial to consciously acknowledge your sense of uncertainty. Even say hello to it. Okay, I'm experiencing this, along with feelings of stress and anxiety and anger that may accompany it. Observe it, allow it, make space for them, hold the space, and be present so that you can sit with it and begin to make peace with it. And when you practice this, notice what happens, and how your experience shifts.